That killer that we have now charged is David Anthony Burke.
Coming up on Chapman News, prosecutors reveal new case details in the case against David, now charged with first-degree murder in connection to the death of a 14-year-old girl.
I'm Natalie Lau. Anaheim city leaders push for a new legal aid fund that would help immigrant families in need. Why the first 24 to 48 hours after an ICE arrest could make all the difference. I have a live report coming up.
Also, the job market for college graduates in 2026 is projected to be the worst in decades. We'll tell you why AI could be a factor. That story plus weather and sports just ahead on Chapman News.
From Orange, California, live from Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Kira Johnson.
And I'm Jenna McLaughlin. Our top story today, the local impact of ICE raids. The city of Anaheim is looking at more ways to support families affected by immigration enforcement.
One recent proposal is a legal defense fund to help residents quickly connect with attorneys after detainment. Chapman News reporter Natalie Lau is live outside of Anaheim City Hall with more.
Thank you, Jenna and Kira. Here at Anaheim City Hall, city leaders are working toward a partnership with a local nonprofit that would help provide legal aid.
The fund is aimed at helping families during the first critical 24 to 48 hours of an arrest. Mike Leister, the city's chief communications officer, says that early period can be overwhelming.
What it does is it disrupts businesses, it disrupts neighborhoods, and it disrupts families. I've seen it firsthand. I've talked to the families and seen what it's done. We're left to pick up with the pieces of all that disruption in our city.
After the city saw a large increase in immigration enforcement last August, community members continue to report uncertainty. One local college student who asked to remain anonymous says that experience has left lasting impacts.
And that's the fear that we have to live with, is I don't know if I'm going to see my dad or my mom again. I don't every day. Every day it's a new thing. I don't know. And it's been like that for about a year.
The proposal builds on existing programs like Anaheim Contigo, which provides financial assistance for basic needs. Officials say the new fund would focus on legal support, giving families a clearer path through long, complex cases.
The goal is to ultimately connect families to long-term support. The development is still in its early stages and would need final approval to move forward. Reporting live in Anaheim, I'm Natalie Lau. Back to you in the studio.
The acting director of ICE is leaving the job after more than a year of leading the agency during the Trump administration's aggressive expansion of immigration enforcement. Todd Lyons' resignation comes after new data from the Journal of American Medical Association shows the death rate of thousands held in ICE detention centers, and it has reached a 22-year high. Researchers attributed the increase to a rise in the number of detainees and also a significant number in medical oversight in these centers. Chapman University sociology professor Nancy Rios-Contreras says that the numbers may actually be higher given the number of people being deported out of the U.S.
They end up in their country of origin with an illness that might not be prepared to handle their medical emergencies, and they end up passing in the country of origin, not necessarily in the U.S. So I absolutely think that we have underreported numbers.
The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement to NBC News that there has been no spike in deaths during the Trump administration and that, quote, all detainees are provided with proper meals, water, medical treatment, and have the opportunities and communication with their family members and lawyers. In fact, ICE has high detention standards rather than most U.S. prisons and that actually hold U.S. citizens, end quote.
President Trump says he's, quote, highly unlikely to renew the ceasefire with Iran, which expires tomorrow evening, East Coast time. Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Pakistan for peace talks is on hold. The U.S. attacked and seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz. It was the first interception since the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports began last week. Some military experts do not believe using force to reopen the waterway will necessarily work.
This is a very constrained area. It's been fortified for years, and the Iranians certainly have taken lessons. They have Chinese technology. They've got real-time observation of our fleet as we're moving in it. This would be a real dogfight if we went in there.
Additionally, the head of Iran's forensic medicine organization says the war's death toll is now almost 3,500 people.
Federal authorities say a Southern California woman has been arrested for allegedly brokering the major weapons deals on behalf of Iran. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 44-year-old Shamim Mafi of Woodland Hills arranged the sale of drones, bomb components, and millions of rounds of ammunition to the African nation of Sudan. The weapons deals were reportedly worth tens of millions of dollars. She is charged with conspiracy to violate federal sanction laws. She was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport while attempting to leave the country. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanchie says, quote, "This woman was allegedly breaking the law by brokering lethal weapons deals with Iranian adversaries. This will not stand." Authorities say if convicted, Mafi could face up to 20 years in federal prison.
We're learning more about what prosecutors say may have been singer David's motives in the killing of a 14-year-old girl. The 21-year-old singer, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke, made his first court appearance yesterday when he pleaded not guilty to the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He was arrested last week, 7 months after Rivas Hernandez's decomposed and dismembered body was found in the trunk of Burke's Tesla. Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman expressed sympathy for the victim's family.
I am a parent of 3 children, and a parent's nightmare is a situation where your daughter goes out one night and never comes back.
Burke is charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, lying in wait, murder for financial gain, and the murder of a witness in a police investigation. He faces life in prison or the death penalty if convicted. Prosecutors say his alleged motive in killing Rivas Hernandez was because she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and destroy his music career. His attorneys say he is not guilty and that they will, quote, vigorously defend him.
The people of Shreveport, Louisiana, continue to mourn 8 children fatally shot on Sunday. Police say the killer was the father of 7 of the children. Police say 31-year-old Shamir Elkins also critically injured 2 of the women in the attack, one of them being his wife. Relatives said Elkins and his wife were in the midst of separating and had argued about the separation before the shootings. However, loved ones never expected this kind of outcome.
Them children were my life. This right here is an unseen thing. No one knew it was going to happen, but domestic violence is real. I've seen it firsthand. I never knew it would happen in my own household.
Died after a police pursuit when officers shot him. The children who were killed were ranging in age from 3 to 11.
There's major news in big tech. Tim Cook is stepping down as Apple CEO after 15 years of leading the tech giant. Cook took over for Steve Jobs in August 2011 and transformed Apple into the most valuable company in the world 1 year later. In 2018, Apple became the first company to reach a $1 trillion market cap. 13 iPhone variations later, Cook says, quote, "I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with a team of such ingenious, innovative, creative, and deeply caring people, enriching the lives of our customers and creating the best products and services in the world." John Turnus, Apple's Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering, will become CEO on September 1st.
After a nice, hot, sunny weekend, it's been a pretty typical weather here in Orange County, I'd say.
But is that sticking around? Let's send it over to our weather reporter, Isaac Persky, with a look at your local forecast. Isaac?
Thanks, Kira and Jenna. Yeah, if you like the weather today, you are in luck because Orange County is staying in its comfort zone this week. Right now, we're at a pretty mild 69 degrees. It is pretty cloudy out. This morning, it got really cold at 53, or at least for here in Southern California and in the spring. And throughout the midday, it'll be around 69, get to 72 a little bit later, and then cool down a little bit this evening once it gets to about 65 degrees. And if you take a look at our regional temperatures right now, pretty consistent across all of Orange County. And then, of course, it's a little bit chillier at the beach, as per usual. And then if we take a look at our 5-day forecast, you can see that throughout the week, we're in a mid-70s, pretty consistent. And then if you want to get outside or have any kind of outdoor warm activity, Thursday is the day to do it. That is the warmest day of this week before it gets pretty chilly this weekend on Saturday, and that'll stay consistent throughout the rest of the weekend and perhaps into next week. Overall, pretty easy weather, and that is all for your local weather forecast, and I will toss it back to Kira and Jenna at the desk.
Thank you, Isaac. Next up on Chapman News, commencement season will soon be here. Why is this year's graduates facing one of the roughest job markets in decades?
I'm Simone Jackson, a former Chapman law dean who once argued in support of President Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results, is now banned from practicing law in California. I'll take a look at the ethics issues involved in that decision coming up.
Got a new house. A place that I call home.
Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
We said we'd never give in to a meltdown.
Mariella.
Never leave the house looking, well, and never let them out of our sight. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
2026 is the roughest entry-level job market in 37 years. For college seniors and others looking for work, it's tough out there. Reporter Lindsay Johnson investigated what has changed this year.
Last year's job market was rough, but this year is projected to be even worse. According to Gallup, only 28% of workers say now is a good time to find a new job, compared to 70% in 2022. Career services like Growing Minds, based in Woodland Hills, believe AI is a major factor in this shift.
They are leveraging AI so that they don't have to hire somebody new and they can just receive information quickly. But the other onset side of it is that those who are in the hiring market, they are submitting a bunch of AI work. So AI resumes, AI cover letters, AI emails. And from the employer standpoint, it just makes it very difficult to establish trust with a new hire if all they're receiving is AI.
University career advisors believe that AI is changing many industries, but specifically impacting entertainment.
Employers are way more reluctant to hire than they were. People are staying in their jobs longer. They're not moving up and they're not moving out. So it is a tough time. And I would say you have to hustle more now than you might have in prior years.
Chapman University senior Erica Brunst will graduate next month with a degree in creative writing. She believes that the job hunt is much harder than expected.
I think going into the summer, not having something is kind of scary, but it is also, I feel like people forget that it's so normal.
Some tips for graduating students about to start or who are continuing their job search. Don't lean on AI to write cover letters and resumes. Connect with people at the company you apply to, and be enthusiastic. This is Lindsay Johnson reporting for Chapman News.
Attorney John Eastman, once a dean and professor here at Chapman University, is barred from practicing law in the state of California. Reporter Simone Jackson breaks down what led to this decision.
Yes, thank you, Karen Jenna. Well, the ruling comes after years of legal back and forth over Eastman's role in Donald Trump's 2020 election campaign. Eastman gained national attention for his legal efforts to delay the certification of former President Joe Biden's electoral win. He also spoke at a rally in Washington, D.C. just hours before the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
There was no case law saying that the advice I was giving was wrong. In fact, everybody acknowledged it was an open question that had never been decided.
But state bar officials say his defense didn't hold up. In March 2024, a state bar court recommended disbarment, finding him guilty on 10 of 11 charges.
Attorneys have to act honestly and uphold the rule of law, regardless of who they represent and regardless of the context in which they're representing them.
The state bar says enforcing those rules is key to maintaining trust in the legal system. Eastman faced backlash from faculty and students at Chapman University following his involvement with President Trump in the January 6th controversy. More than 160 faculty members signed a letter calling for the university to fire Eastman, and in 2021 he announced his retirement.
Just imagine if it was President Obama that I had been representing. I mean, they'd be throwing parties for me. They'd organize their annual gala dinner by honoring me. But because it was President Trump, and the faculty at Chapman, like faculties at most universities around the country, is fairly hard left, and it was just something that was beyond the pale, couldn't be tolerated.
Eastman has said his legal bills have amounted to between $2 and $3 million, and he has been actively fundraising to pay them. For Chapman News, I'm Simone Jackson. Back to you guys at the desk.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has launched a new podcast. The podcast is titled The Secretary Kennedy Podcast and is produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Kennedy claims it will focus on, quote, radical transparency in government. The first episode was released last week and is titled Fixing America's Food System. The guest was Robert Irvine, best known as a celebrity chef who has collaborated with the U.S. military to launch the Victory Fresh program during the Biden administration. The podcast has 13,000 views on YouTube right now. Eric Ball, a pediatrician in Orange County and the chair of the American Academy of Pediatrics in California, responded to our request for reaction to the Kennedy podcast with this statement, quote, families in the United States deserve to receive information from evidence-based sources or from trusted professionals such as their child's pediatrician.
The last of those blue call boxes on some freeways here in OC are going away. 175 call boxes still remain along local freeways. Orange County Transportation Authority data shows that boxes are rarely used. There were about 205 calls a month in 2008, and that same amount of calls in the last fiscal year. OCTA communications specialist Eric Carpenter says that the drivers now use their cell phones when they need help, and they'll dial roadside 511 for roadside assistance.
We're really trying to put money where it's best, most efficiently used, and be good shepherds of those taxpayer dollars. And we feel like we're doing that through the 511 program and the Freeway Service Patrol.
Carpenter says the remaining boxes will be removed by June of next year.
A national grocery chain based here in Southern California is settling a class action lawsuit. From March through July of 2019, Trader Joe's improperly printed receipts for customers that had 10 digits of card information, posing a risk for identity theft for customers. The company admits no wrongdoing, but has now agreed to pay affected customers $102 each. Whose shoppers are eligible will receive an email or postcard. Emperor penguins have officially become endangered species due to climate change.
The International Union for Conservation of Recently Endangered Animals have added emperor penguins to their red list, meaning that they are rapidly declining in population. The decrease in their population is largely due to climate change. As the Earth keeps warming up, a bulk of the penguins' food sources are swimming south, and sea ice that these penguins usually rely on are quickly melting. According to the World Wildlife Fund, emperor penguins' population could drop 50% in the next 50 years if things do not change quickly.
And speaking of sustainability, Earth Day is tomorrow.
I know, I'm so excited, and our weather reporter Isaac Persky has a little look at some sustainability practices here at Chapman University.
Cities in Orange County have been praised as beacons of sustainability. And college campuses have historically been at the forefront of the sustainability movement. With Earth Day around the corner, I decided to investigate if one of Orange County's most prestigious universities is really as sustainable as it says it is.
Chapman's website cites water conservation as one of its most sustainable practices. However, reports from several students cite dozens of instances of broken sprinklers, flooding sidewalks, and wasted water. I sat down with the manager of Chapman's sustainability office to find out more.
Let us know, because we don't want it to be leaking. So let us know, and then we can get our facilities team to fix it. We completed a very substantial project a couple years ago before I got here with drought-tolerant landscaping throughout the campus. So there's actually a walking tour you can do on Chapman's campus map. It's called the WaterWise Tour.
Trash, recycling, and composting are also a large part of sustainability initiatives at Chapman. Some students I talked to expressed concern over whether the school adequately sorts its several recycling and compost bins. So I took an unglamorous trip to the dumpsters on campus to find that all waste was put into their respective bins.
I can confirm that we give the sorted waste to our waste facility managers. Like, we give it to CR&R, so please only put recycling in recycling, trash in trash, and food waste in compost.
In the end, Chapman is taking large steps to fulfill their sustainability promises. And with Earth Day around the corner, there's one thing that the Office of Sustainability wants you to remember.
Sustainability touches everything. Like, there's nothing, you could point to something in this room, I can draw a line straight to sustainability. So biggest message is just waste less.
Sustainability really does affect everything, including our environment, which impacts our weather. That leads me into our national forecast today. As you can see, most of the country is actually pretty warm. It's actually a little bit chillier here in Southern California, which is surprising. You'd think, you know, with Coachella, everything heating up, everything super exciting, and be nice and warm down here. We also had a couple of storms in the Midwest lately. Over the weekend, there was some tornadoes in northern Illinois. Luckily, they're all not causing a lot of damage. They were EF1, so luckily pretty calm. And if we take a look at our satellite, overall everything in the country is pretty calm. There's a couple of storms down in the southeast, but overall it is a great day to appreciate the Earth with Earth Day coming up tomorrow. And that is all for your national weather forecast, and I will send it back to Kira and Jenna at the desk.
From the trenches to the center stage, linemen take over in Costa Mesa. We take a look at Jesse Sapolu's camp and what it means for young athletes.
And Orange County just danced its way into the record books. Still ahead, how a massive swing dance lesson in Newport Beach broke a Guinness World Record while honoring a local tradition.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, love you always.
Everything I do.
When you
graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
One of Southern California's biggest tourist draws is closing its doors for a year. The Getty Center will close next March and reopen in spring of 2028. Getty's spokesperson Alexandra Sivak says that the art museum will undergo a modernization project that will improve the visitor experience as well as adding a new tram system.
There are going to be some major reinstallations of some of the galleries, so some rethinking about how we present our work, how we show it to the public. But in the end, it will be the same Getty with just a little bit of a glow up.
The Getty Villa will continue to operate as normal. As for Getty Center employees, Sivak says that their jobs will not be impacted during the closure.
And one OC skate park is getting a major upgrade, adding new features and more space for the local skate community. The Tewinkle Park skate park in Costa Mesa is set to more than double in size after city leaders approved an expansion. Plans include a new clover pool, snake run, quarter pipe, and Orange County's first concrete pump track. Skaters are excited.
It's gonna definitely draw some new heads in, especially if we get the pump track for kids who come on bikes and, scooter kids.
The project cost $3.4 million. Construction is expected to begin next month and be completed by next April.
It's been a big week in sports, both nationally and right here in Orange County, hasn't it, Jenna?
Yes, it has, Kira. So now let's hear from Isaiah May on the latest.
Yes, thanks, Kira and Jenna. Welcome everyone to the Panther Sports Roundup. We start in LA, where Game 2 tips off tonight at 7:30 Pacific, with LA looking to keep their momentum going. LeBron James continues to defy Father Time as LA opened the series with a 107-98 win over the Houston Rockets, in a result that caught many by surprise. Luke Kennard was on fire from three, going 5 of 5 as the Lakers pulled away late to take a 1-0 lead in the series. From across the pond to our own backyard, where linemen don't always get the spotlight. But this weekend in Costa Mesa, they took center stage. We stopped by to check out the Super Lineman Challenge.
Super lineman on me! Super lineman on 3! 1, 2, 3! Super lineman! Hey!
I'm here at Costa Mesa High School, where hundreds of young athletes have come to compete and train for the Super Lineman Challenge. The event is sponsored by Sapolu Destined Academy, a private OC middle school founded by former NFL player Jesse Sapolu. For many of these players, camps like this can give them an advantage going into next season.
We got a young team here, some big names coming to the camp, and we're just looking to get as much reps as we can.
They're going to see some Division I athletes, Division II athletes. They're going to go against guys that their systems are different from run to pass, but just gives them an opportunity to compete with a wide variety here.
Throughout the day, athletes go head-to-head in drills and team matchups, competing against top talent from across the country. And while the drills and competition test their skills, coaches say the focus here is beyond just performance.
Not everybody's going to play in the NFL. I guarantee, lucky if there's one kid in this competition that will smell the NFL. But you create relationship, you create understanding how to work hard and work hard with class, be able to know how to take losing and go back and get better from it instead of just throwing an attitude, And for Sapolu, a former 49ers center and Super Bowl champion, that's what it's all about. If I can change one kid's life, then this is all worth it to me. For the big guys up front, it's not always about the spotlight, but this weekend, they certainly made the most of it. This has been the Panther Sports Roundup. I'm Isaiah May, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Isaiah. Now, here's a fun fact. Orange County has the Guinness World Record for the largest game of red light, green light. It also has the record for the most consecutive Disneyland visits set by a Huntington Beach resident. But now you can add one more to the list. Orange County has danced its way into the Guinness record books with the largest swing dance lesson ever.
At Peninsula Park in Newport Beach, dancers didn't just show up this past Sunday, they showed out. From first-timers to lifelong ballroom lovers, over 1,000 people laced up their dancing shoes and got ready to make history. For Joanne, there was no question about joining in. Her reaction says it all.
Have I ever swing danced before? Absolutely.
And today was a family affair. Joanne had her son, 4 granddaughters, and 2 great-granddaughters, all there to be part of the moment.
Well, I'm so excited.
She was ready to get into the swing of things.
I have never in my life said, oh, gee, I have to go dance tonight. Never.
And the dance itself has deep Orange County roots. The Balboa Swing was born in Newport Beach, so this record attempt was more than just a fun event. It was also a chance to celebrate a local tradition that still has plenty of kick. But of course, being part of a Guinness World Record is pretty exciting too. The previous Guinness record, 391 pairs, was set in 2018 by a dance troupe in the UK. The dance lesson lasted 30 minutes, and for a second, I was honestly nervous they had missed the record. I was thinking about Joanne and everyone I had met and hoping this wouldn't end in disappointment.
Okay, right now the judges are deliberating. The dance class is over. I'm honestly a little bit nervous right now. I really hope that we beat this world record.
But with 579 pairs on the floor, dancers officially shimmied past the old mark and claimed a brand new Guinness World Record. Not bad for a Sunday afternoon two-step into the history books.
So step, offset, kiss your feet, and step. Yeah, again.
It's National Library Week, and one elementary librarian is showing us just how powerful this job can be. Coming up, how she's inspiring students and creating a space full of magic.
And I'm Gabriella Reynoso, and I'll show you what's coming up at an OC animal shelter. Stay with us.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross.
And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Stephen.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition
of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross.
And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Stephen.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's
edition of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Around 250,000 people attend Coachella, bringing in over $200 million in revenue. The second weekend headliners were Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G, with surprise appearances from Madonna and SZA. Fans also went wild when Billie Eilish joined Justin Bieber last night for One Last Lonely Girl. Fines for the venue curfew violations reached more than $40,000 during the second weekend. According to the city, fines followed late performances.
Today is National Library Workers Day, and it's National Library Week, so what better time to celebrate the people who help make reading fun and magical for students? At Red Hill Elementary in Santa Ana, one passionate librarian is making a lasting impact on the children she sees every day.
Miss Young, she's really nice and sweet and always helps out with whenever we need help. She's kind and she's silly.
I actually didn't like reading before I came to Red Hill and she was the librarian.
Behind every decorated bookshelf, there is a librarian who does so much more than just check out books. She's creating a space where children are excited to learn and excited to read.
Meet Mrs. Young, the librarian helping turn this corner of Red Hill Elementary into something special. With her gift for connecting with students, she brings a little extra color and character to the school day. And by characters, I mean actually characters.
I was Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. That was my favorite. Oh, I was an X-Wing fighter from Star Wars. I was King George from Hamilton. So those are my favorites too.
But beyond the costumes and the decorations, the real story is in the quiet kind of magic she creates. The kind that helps children believe books can be exciting.
It, well, I absolutely warms my heart, and makes me want to cry because just seeing kids learning to read and learning to love to read and picking up books rather than an iPad is why I do this.
And for Mrs. Young, the joy of the library is not just in the stories on the shelves, but in the students who bring the space to life every day.
I just love being around them. I love getting to know them.
This National Library Week is a reminder that school librarians do far more than fill shelves. They help create spaces where students feel inspired, safe, and excited to learn.
For those who want to help keep this magic going, Red Hill Elementary's library also has an Amazon wish list where community members can donate items to support the space. We'll have that link along with more on the website on our website.
A new program in Orange is helping dogs get adopted, one outing at a time.
Our reporter Gabriela Reynoso has more on the story.
Thanks, Jenna and Kira. I had the opportunity last week to visit OC Animal Care, where the staff there have brought a national program to OC that's benefiting both sheltered dogs and people who spend time with them.
The Dogs Day Out program at OC Animal Care allows adults with a valid driver's license to take dogs out for a few hours. Staff say dogs who get time outside are 5 to 14 times more likely to be adopted. The program's goal is to help ease an overpopulation of medium to large dogs.
Small dogs get adopted easily. A lot of times, medium to large dogs are less likely to be adopted because there's landlord restrictions or the financial responsibilities of owning a larger dog.
Shelter staff say they unfortunately often see dogs surrendered, but one case stands out. A dog named Mama Pig was adopted quickly, then brought back just 2 weeks later. The staff believe her high energy level may have been more than her adopters could manage. Now back at OC Animal Care, Mama Pig is taking part in the Dogs Day Out program, giving her another chance to find the right forever home.
We're here at PetSmart with Mama Pig. It's her Dogs Day Out, and she's been saying hi to everybody she sees. And as well, she's up for adoption if you're interested.
The volunteers all have different reasons for taking part in the Dogs Day Out event. For some, it's very personal. For Cheryl Rosenberg, it's a way to honor her friend.
I'm going to get emotional. A friend of mine passed away a couple weeks ago, and she was a huge foster. She fostered through a lab organization, so I figured this will also be something that she would be really into. So, yeah, that's why I did it.
And there are success stories, such as Joni, who was adopted after her Dogs Day Out.
And later that day, they came back to our shelter and adopted her, and she's been in her forever home since.
The shelter says if you can't adopt a dog, there are other ways to help out, such as donating food or toys. To learn more about the program or how to help, visit ocpetinfo.com for more information. This is Gabriela Reynoso reporting for Chapman News.
Oh my goodness, that was
oh my gosh, I think
so
I need
impactful.
I need to go back for Mama Pig, I think.
Someone needs to adopt Mama Pig. She needs to find her forever home.
I think she does.
Yes.
And anyways, that was it for this edition of Chapman News. I'm Kira Johnson.
And I'm Jenna McLaughlin. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow up on our social media and check out our website. We will see you next week.